As we're all reminded, today is Ash Wednesday, and at least over at St. Anne's at noon, we all knelt down and confessed our failure to love our neighbors. And we also were called to remember that we're all made, every one of us, in the image of God, and we're all of infinite value and worth, and no one should be subject to discrimination or marginalization. 6 years ago, the diocese at its 221st convention passed a resolution that opposed discrimination based on gender identity or expression, as well as discrimination based on sexual orientation. And we have consistently since that time opposed anything discriminatory and have worked to end discrimination against all people. We, as Christians, stand with those who face discrimination and marginalization. We pray that barriers which divide us may crumble and suspicions disappear and hatred cease, and that our barriers being healed, we may live in justice and peace, and God help us to eliminate our cruelty to our neighbors. We respectfully ask this committee to report this bill favorably to the House of Delegates. Thank you.
Members of the committee and chair, my name is Sama Balomo. Conveniently, that is my birth name. I was named after my grandfather. I hail from Howard County. If you find yourself unable to find a sense of humanity in my words, I invite you to consider what that says about you and your own sense of humanity. And I challenge you to consider any mental blocks that lead you to such extreme conclusions that people who are transgender do not deserve the protections of our gender identity. My genitalia are on the legal docket again this month, and I am neither prostitute nor wet nurse. My genitalia have no bearing on my job as the IT guy at work. I am transgender. I also have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, a genetic disorder that causes joint dislocations at any time and hypermobility, among other disabling problems. My genetic makeup, in many senses, is a mismatch for most things that I need a functional body to accomplish on a daily basis in this lifetime, to be able to carry children, to be able to hold a pencil. But society has caught up to its own stigma about disability, and I am a contributing member to my community, and I'm also a taxpayer. Whether other people abuse legal protection is not grounds for discarding my own needs. Regardless of those people who abuse the parking space, I still need legal protection for an accessible parking placard. I still need the rights to exist as I am, and I need those protections. I need to let society's apprehensions catch up, and they will. We have a process of jurisprudence with judges and lawyers to meet out one from the other. This is not an attempt to take advantage of any particular social system or economic system. When I have to use the restroom to perform a biological function at work, I'm not there to socialize, and this bill is to protect that biological function so I can do my business at my business and go back to my job. I'm lucky. My users in my IT environment don't care what they call me. They don't care a thing about me. As long as they can log in and check their email, they're happy. I have marketable skills. I'm multilingual. I speak 5 languages. I'm a pretty good writer. I'm hard of hearing and I have a bad memory, but somebody married me anyway. I'm everything but a superhero and a genetic male. Overall, I'm a nice guy. If you stick me in a dress and heels, you're not going to find me any more fit for my job. If you lower my voice, you're not going to find me any more or less fit for my job. The state's validation of who I am is not going to contradict any citizen dignity, but it's going to defend it. There are people concerned about their children, and I heard somebody yelling on the corner, "Don't indoctrinate my children." And I agree, don't indoctrinate them to viewing me and who I am based on what's in my pants. Teach them mathematics, the arts, science, English, and writing. Don't mask them from what you're afraid of, though. Teach them so that they can go about their own lives based on their own beliefs and what they're going to grow into. They're going to be here after we're gone, and if we teach them well, they'll be all right. My wife, Julie, says you can't force a flower to bloom. You have to wait for it to blossom on its own time. Otherwise, you get a hot mess. I hold a spot as co-host of a YouTube program, Training Star Galactica. We discuss the issues and questions that people from all backgrounds bring to us on either side of this debate. Training Star Galactica is one of the largest worldwide assemblies of programming on trans issues, and we are completely transparent. I invite you to see for yourself that we are the same, and we need the same protections. The genetics of my body are a private matter, as are my privates. Society must catch up with the chromosome, not the other way around, as it has with skin color and disability. While I'm here on Earth, please protect me this way so that I can spend my time doing more productive things. My genetics will never, ever be all that I am, just the basis for the meat of me until proven otherwise. I am Catholic. I'm a religious person. To my religion, I have a responsibility to be honest to these things that I tell you, and also to do my best, and to be where I can to make a difference. To engage in a lifestyle other than one that feels honest to me is to be sacrilegious. This is my freedom of religion, to be who I am. Please look after me that I may look after others. Thank you for your time.
Good afternoon. My name is Julie Rosecrans Palomo, and I am a proud resident of Howard County. I lived in Maryland my entire life and currently reside with Summer in Elkridge. Special thank you to those who are supporting this bill. What I do by trade is a disabilities rights advocate, but I'm here today in support of similar things, rights for the minorities that I believe that the state should uphold. Sama and I have been married for about a year. We've been together for 5 years. A few years ago, when we first started having conversations about, transgender rights and the feelings that he was having, they were difficult at first. But what was first and foremost most important for me was that I was in love with a person. I was in love with who Sama is as a person, what his values are. That was the first and foremost most important thing for me. Gender certainly is a big component of that, but for me it's secondary. It's way down on the list. So my thinking was, why wouldn't I try and support somebody that I love through something that is difficult? Why wouldn't I want to support them through the discrimination and things that they might face out there in the world? Once when I was having a hard time trying to come up with a label of myself identifying as a lesbian and being with somebody, and does that make me heterosexual now? When I was trying to find that label, one of our good friends told us, why worry about the labels, just worry about the love that you have for one another. So that's what I'm trying to do. The bottom line for me is that regardless of nature or nurture, nobody deserves to be kicked out of their homes for being transgender. Nobody deserves to be bullied, harassed, denied credit, denied a lot of other stories that we've heard today. I think it's time that Maryland starts to differentiate between sex and gender and protect our transgender citizens. They are our neighbors, our brothers, our gardeners, our florists, you name it, they're there. I will close with a cute story that I experienced earlier this year. I also work at my church as the children's worship and music director, and Sama was helping me out one morning, and a little boy comes up to Sama and says, are you a boy or a girl? And Sama replied by saying, I don't know, what do you think? And he says, I don't know, but I like you. And for me, it's really that simple. So I thank you for allowing us the opportunity to be here today, and urge you to vote and stand up for transgender citizens of Maryland and reporting favorably for House Bill 235.
Thank you. Your question, panel proponents. Thank you very much for your testimony.